I figured it was one of my cousins just sitting in the front seat. But then I heard the engine start up and the truck start to move. I knew it must be my grandfather, but I didn't expect this because he rarely ever used this truck. He started driving while I was doing my business in the back of the truck and I was shaking all about. The bucket was filled more than halfway at this point, so the stuff was getting all over me. I started screaming at the top of my lungs for Gramps to stop driving and that I was in the back, and he must have finally heard me after 2 minutes of begging and screaming for mercy before he stopped the truck and ran to the back to see what was going on. When he saw me, I was covered in dooks and had tears running down my face from stress and embarrassment. I suddenly felt shame for what my cousins and I had been doing these last few weeks when I realized I was face to face with a reasonable adult. I explained everything to my grandpa, who was extremely horrified and disgusted and said he would drive me back to the house to get cleaned up, but some consequences would have to be held. I got cleaned up and then came downstairs to my grandpa, my grandma, and my cousins seated around the dining room table. We had a long talk and we all admitted to pooping in the bucket, and it dawned on us how gross the initial plan was, and I was embarrassed for coming up with something like that, and dragging my cousins into it as well. The rest is history, but let me just say that we were no longer allowed in my grandparents' house for the rest of that summer.